What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode. We haven't been canceled yet, Brev, but we are sure going to try our best of the Skolcial Network. How you doing, Brev? Exciting week.
Yeah, it's been quite the week. Woke up to quite the exciting news this morning. I had a long week at work, so Viking stuff has been really nice. Slept in. Brebby needs his little nice little sleep in on his days off. So it was nice to wake up to the news of the trade this morning. Shout out to Kwesi for making a good trade. Um, Not foreshadowing my opinion on Kwesi whatsoever. Um, no, I'm really excited to talk about all this stuff. I think today we're going to cover, of course, the trade. Been a lot of free agency happenings. We kind of already did our Kirk Cousins memorial because, we knew. Um, so we don't really have to talk much about Kirk. I guess we could wish him well, but we're going to cover free agency, everything, cover this trade. And then I believe Jason is going to go on a little tangent about his opinion on some opinions of Vikings fans.
Opinion on opinions, I
Yeah.
think, is good. Yeah. So I admittedly, Brev, we talked yesterday. A couple people on Vikings Twitter, some within our own network, have been kind enough to offer Vikings therapy sessions this week. I decided yesterday we were going to host an intervention today.
Mm-hmm.
But when I woke up at the crack of 6:45 in the morning, shout out to Arizona not having daylight savings. I'm even further removed from valuable news dropping. I spent 10 minutes trying to figure out what the hell I was reading about this trade, and then suddenly I was very excited. Seems like most people are. Most. But man, if you are part of the group of people that has been ragging on Kwesi since a certain former quarterback decided to there is an insane amount of lightning outside of my house right now. I don't even know if you could hear that. I look like a crazy person. But if you were just spending time begging on Kwesi saying, this is stupid, we're going to be last in the North, I hope today at least painted some optimism. Some of the things I've been seeing online have been absolutely insane. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to probably ruffle some feathers here. The narrative that a certain section of Vikings fans is more loyal to a certain now former player than to the team, for some of them, really adding my caveats here, it's kind of looking to be true a little bit. Because if you're so upset about letting a 36-year-old quarterback walk, not offering him the 100 plus guaranteed that Atlanta did, I think it is 100 guaranteed.
Yep.
That you can't see the value in the trades that Kwesi, or the signings and the trade that Kwesi has made this week, you got to take a step back because Kwesi absolutely cooked this week. Now, that is contingent on what we do with this 23rd and 11th package that we're hopefully looking to trade up. All of the signs point to Drake May. I like JJ McCarthy, but I really, really like Drake May. And I think in this offense, there's a unique chance for that to thrive. Everybody, basically, what I'm saying, calm the hell down. Let Kwesi cook. Stop trying to look into if Kevin O'Connell is shaking his head in a press conference like he would just publicly show anger at his head or at his GM. Stop reading into every word being said. It's very clear now what the plan is. We just got to hope that we could pull it off. That's ultimately what I'm hoping to see happen pre-draft is a move up to 3, worst case 4, because we know Denver's going to want to trade up, things like that. But as far as the signings go, a lot to be excited about. I think our defense personally got better. Yes, we lost Daniil, but I do think we took a step forward as a unit. Brev, I'm going to hand it over to you. Specifically, let's start with the big 3 in Van Ginkel, Cashman, and Grenard. What do you think that brings to the defense? Do you think the unit holistically got better, about the same? Where do we stand for Brian Flores and his unit?
I mean, it's really hard, rightfully so, and justifiably so. It's really hard to look at a defense that's losing Daniil Hunter and being like, maybe it got better. I think maybe it did get better. A certain contingent, or I guess I'll say some Vikings fans, not to divide so much, but so much, wanted DJ Wanham back. No. So losing Daniil hurts. Losing DJ Wanham, Andrew Van Ginkel is an upgrade. So when you look at it, you lose Daniil, you take a step down, but you have Grenard, and if he can get rid of the injury bug, I guess for lack of a better term, a Grenard Van Ginkel combination uh, is a better pass rushing duo than what we had last year. Because yeah, Davenport was here, but was he really? I don't think Marcus Davenport was.
Wow.
So, and I wouldn't have been opposed to giving Davenport another shot. He signed with Detroit around what he like. I would have been okay with giving him. But with Van Ginkel on that side, opposite of what Daniil would have been, you're getting consistency. You're getting somebody that's actually going to play. He was very, very good. One of the most efficient pass rushers in the league, with Jalen Phillips missing a lot of time last year in Miami. So when you look at it as a whole, I think the pass rush might actually be more balanced and better. Also, the signing Jerry Tillery, that's kind of just like I guess, a reclamation project. So that's got a decent high upside on it. You can't put too much stock into it. And then Blake Cashman, finally, it feels 6 years overdue. Because if you don't remember,
Meant to be. Meant to be.
exactly, former Gopher, was he born in Minnesota?
I believe so. I mean, he was at the Wild game last night talking about how that's one of his favorite things to do. So we'll look into that. But I
Yeah.
believe he is from Minnesota. I think Duluth specifically, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so nobody fact checked that. We're just going to say he is, and you'll believe it.
Hey,
Uh,
we did that last week, and we ended up being 100% spot on with the biggest news story in recent Vikings memory. So,
yeah, we're going to go 2 for 2. So Blake Cashman is from Duluth, whether he likes it or not. So getting him is cool. If people remember or don't remember, um, the Anthony Barr thing, what like, was that the same offseason as Kirk, I think, or the one after, where
I believe it might have been the same offseason or the year after, around 2018, 2019.
yeah, Daniil Hunter verbally agreed to the Jets, then couldn't sleep one night or something, and came back.
Anthony Barr. You said Daniil Hunter. I mean, I think
Yeah,
you miss Hunter more than you're letting on, man. Let him
maybe
go.
you tell on yourself sometimes, but yeah, Anthony Barr verbally committed to the Jets, and had a nightmare or something, couldn't sleep, pee-peed the bed, so he decided to take Minnesota's offer. That was the same offseason where the Jets drafted Cashman in the third or fourth round, and we really wanted him, and we looked at it as like the Jets, I got you back. Whatever. I don't know. That just makes me think of that situation. But Cashman, definitely higher upside than Jordan Hicks. He's efficient in run stopping. He's efficient enough, and he's actually pretty good in coverage. So you're getting a more versatile player than Jordan Hicks was at his age, and especially Jordan Hicks with that injury. He went to the hospital or something, and like I don't know if you
Yeah, I can't even describe. I know it could have been catastrophic. I can't even describe what that injury fully entailed. It was my first time hearing about it. But I mean, credit where it's due to your point. Like, this is an upgrade over Hicks. Hicks, for his age and given his situation, like, he contributed pretty heavily to that defense. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Cashman's a speedier, younger upgrade in that position. And he gets to be right next to Ivan Pace.
exactly. So I don't know. And with Brian Flores, like if we were giving these guys to Ed Donatel, I'd be like, hmm. But with Brian Flores, I think this is going to be a more balanced, slightly more talented. Hard to say that without Daniil. But just all things considered, if you look at it without being like, "Ooh, Daniil's gone," and more that we added some more to be well versed. They need to add somebody in the secondary for sure.
Oh,
Um, we
100%.
didn't even mention Harrison. Shout out to Harrison.
I mean, look, the guy goes without even mentioning at this point. He should be given, not even having to pay for it. He should be given ownership from the Wilfs the second he retires.
Exactly, and you he took $10 million less, but like, did he really? Because he would have been released if he didn't, and I don't know if he gets 9 million on the open market. So to feel better about ourselves, he took a $10 million pay cut. So we're gonna
This is a reference that requires you watching the Vikings Voyage YouTube series, but I think he has everything he needs when you watch that and see. I don't even know the name of the Russian practice thing he built. This wooden It looks like something it's not. I'll lean on the side of saying it looks like a torture device, but this man just hangs himself by ropes and I guess can play till he's, in Anthony Barr's words, like 30 years, 35 years from now, whatever he said in that. That was really funny, by the way. That was the best Instagram post I've seen all week.
Harrison Smith just rocks. My personal favorite player of all time. I know we see the meme all the time on Twitter of like when somebody, like literally anybody gets released from another team, it's Viking. Harrison Smith is Viking. Like Harrison Smith he is the Minnesota Viking, especially for people of my generation. So shout out to Harrison.
Yeah.
We'll get at least one more year out of him. He could have gone and chased a ring with Kansas City or somebody like that, but he's gonna stay home. So that's my feel good story of this week. Definitely, probably the entire offseason. I'm happy because I feel like I didn't really get to enjoy Harrison Smith last year because last year just such.
Oh yeah.
So this year I'm definitely gonna go into like, all right, Harry, one more ride. But yeah.
We'll see what that looks like. I want to add one thing on that point, and then I kind of want to get into maybe some comparisons in contrasting what this defense, kind of hinted at it might actually do differently. For everyone who has been in panic mode, to refer to my earlier comments, if Harrison Smith is willing to deal with Leslie Frazier, Mike Zimmer, the change to KOC, Spielman, to Kwesi, and all the change that man has seen, and literally decide to take less money to be here, where did Brev go? That's an interesting issue. Let me go ahead and get Brev back up. Brev, you disappeared.
How? I don't know. I just left. I don't know.
We're a high production podcast. Funniest thing I'll reference this again, when we posted our intro video on Twitter for the first time as a hint, somebody said, finally, a high production Vikings podcast. Sorry, no, maybe eventually. We need some of that podcast money. Hey, Dustin,
Yeah.
help us out.
You mentioned Frazier and just everything goes to shit. So.
Yeah, I think it's literally the roof collapsing. And again, actually, well, he was on staff. He wasn't the head coach. But with that in mind, obviously, I think if Harrison can buy into the program, I think we can trust a little bit as fans. And so far, again, today was the first step in really seeing what that turns into draft-wise. I think we're on a really good track. You kind of hinted at this last year, Flores, especially in those first, I wouldn't even say first few games, because there was some adjustment, but really in the middle of the season, until somehow Zach Taylor figured out his entire playbook and shared it with everyone. We saw a lot of pressure, Brev, but we didn't necessarily hit home. When we did, it was good. I think of Wanham's fumble return, things like that. Do you see more success in those blitz packages this year? Or do you think it's still mainly focused on disruption? Hey, if you can get home, that'd be great. What's your read on that?
I think you definitely could because Blake Cashman himself, he's more of a threat rushing the passer than Jordan Hicks would have been. Hicks was kind of that run stopper, field general. Blake Cashman is literally, I'm not saying he's like a top 10 middle linebacker at all, but he is just the definition of a balanced linebacker that can get home, that can stop the run, that can cover the pass. So maybe you won't get as much of those like one-on-one wins that you had with Danielle Hunter, because Danielle Hunter is just a pressure monster. Just again, as a whole, balanced, coming from both sides, and then sending Ivan Pace up the middle like we did a lot last year. Harrison coming off the edge on a stunt or something, and then sending Blake Cashman. There's a lot. This defense is going to be even more versatile than he could have been last year, and they're not done adding talent. We got a draft to go. We've got a lot of names, still not huge names, but names in free agency left to go.
Well, there's Snead on the trade market, and Xavier Howard's out there. I believe Marcus Lattimore's out there. I do not want Gilmore. I've seen some people recommend that. After I saw that man have his ankles Thanos snapped by Justin Jefferson, I would prefer to go another route. Let's move to the other side of the ball. We're going to wait a second before we talk about Perpy NFL's favorite man in the world. But what do you think Aaron Jones does for this offense? Is he too old? Is he too injury prone? Or is this the upgrade that we needed at this time?
definitely the upgrade that you needed. Had I known Aaron Jones was going to be available, and I guess we should have been more aware of his contract situation because he was due like 14 million or something. Like if I had known that, then I'd be like, oh, Aaron Jones is probably going to get released. And then Josh Jacobs signing in Green Bay kind of hints at that. And then it happens. So like almost immediately everybody's like, oh, well, Minnesota's gonna sign him. And that's what happened. So the purple and gold sombrero is on the way. Not really. But
No, they look at he's in it last
oh,
night. They posted videos of him wearing one.
I know, but I meant like I might buy one. I'm thinking about it actually.
Oh, got it. No, yeah, I highly recommended in the comments of that post that they start selling them.
No, they should absolutely. But yeah, no, it's an instant upgrade. You're going from Alex Madison to Aaron Jones. Alex Madison and Ty Chandler. I think Vikings fans are a little like too optimistic on Ty Chandler. I think Ty Chandler is good. He's very explosive. He's really fast. I'd rather watch Ty Chandler try to navigate the trenches more than I'd like to watch Alex Madison kind of just stand and look at him.
Oh yeah, it was like watching those two back to back was like seeing a Honda Civic compared to like somebody on a Razor scooter with one wheel. The car looked faster, and it was, but we're not sure if we're dealing with a Lamborghini yet. Maybe hopefully Jones can help mentor him. That's a word being thrown around a lot of positions to kind of hit his stride as a starting running back. No, but yeah. I 100% agree with that. I like Chandler, but I don't know if he's quite the 1A a lot of people have already crowned him as.
And not just for the run game, but especially for assuming a young quarterback is going to be added to this offense. But even for Sam Darnold, it adds another element in the passing game. Aaron Jones is a very, very good receiving back. Alex Madison was not. Ty Chandler's all right, but Aaron Jones is like one of the league's best receiving backs. So, like all around 1 year, $7 million deal, you got the cap space to do it. Like, why wouldn't you go out and do this? I was
100%.
I was vocal about wanting to draft a running back instead, but they don't have a third round pick, and that's kind of the sweet spot for where the running backs would be that I'd like. So, like, this is an absolute no brainer. This is a great move.
You had mentioned somebody who, to this point, maybe I slipped up and said it. I had tried to avoid. What do you think of? I'll let you kind of handle the pulse of the internet on this one. What do you think of the totally reasonable, not at all biased views when the Sam Darnold announcement was made, like an invasion into a foreign country at like midnight, so that hopefully no one saw it coming? What do you think of how people reacted to that news?
I remember tweeting after that happened, if you're actually upset about this, then you need to get a grip. This is, I don't want to say there's no bad thing about the signing whatsoever. He's very obviously not the quarterback of the future. If he is, cool. If he has a Baker Mayfield-like resurgence, sick. You got a quarterback. He's there to placehold. He's there to, like, I feel like the Vikings, and that was especially evident today after the trade, they're going after a quarterback. Like, after this trade, they are 1,000,000% trading up into at least the top 4, and I'd put the mortgage on that. So they know that there's a young quarterback that's going to come in. Why wouldn't you get a very high upside bridge in Sam Darnold on a 1 year, $10 million deal to come in and placehold? Then Darnold is only 26. So, like, the upside is there. There's really no low side. You're not expecting to compete this year anyway. Why are you upset about a Sam Darnold signing? You're just looking for something to be upset about at that point. And I would assume that most of the people that are upset about a Darnold signing are the people that are really upset that Kirk Cousins is no longer a quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, to which I'd say, get over it. Like, move on.
New era, baby. Like, we're here. And those same people, the dead giveaway was they were more upset about Darnold being in the quarterback room than what I think are pretty serious reasons to think the Falcons tampered. And I just think that 100% shows the hand that you're describing perfectly as far as that bias.
I understand the stability that Kirk Cousins brings, not only but touch on this, but so much because we've all said all we could say about that guy. If you're not excited for what's happening in Minnesota right now, figure it out. Because if you're not optimistic and hopeful right now, I don't know what to say. This is what's happening right now at TCO is so exciting and something that, quite frankly, is very overdue and should have happened a while ago.
Never drafted a quarterback in the top 10.
Ever.
We're not there yet, but I mean, come on. Why else do you make this trade, right? Like, Bo Nix. Please, God, no.
I have my reservations on Kwesi, like I've alluded to. I'm not happy with the first 2 years of the tenure. What he's doing this offseason, I'm in love with. I can completely eat my words on anything negative I've said about Kwesi. I've remained positive through it, but I've been like, if you're in the camp of wanting to continue to sign veteran quarterbacks that have won absolutely nothing in their career, be my guest. But how can you not be excited right now? I'm sorry. That was a rant. Go on.
No, I mean, hey, this is rant season, and my personal leaning is I think Kwesi got the green light to do the damn thing he was hired to do.
Yeah.
Can I speak for the Wilfs or the front office? No. I do think to an extent the Wilfs probably liked Kirk because he provided stability and they're businessmen and it makes sense. They maybe even genuinely believed he could get us to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's bad. I don't know if he can carry a team on his own, but there is something to be said about the second that man is officially gone, which in my mind was probably decided 2 weeks ago during the combine, per Kevin's own suggestion. We sign 3 defensive starters, a top-level running back. We make this trade. These are things. Our first free agency signing last year was Josh Oliver, wasn't he? I think Josh Oliver was the first free agent. Like, I remember getting excited even during Spielman era. Oh, we signed the corpse of Greg Jennings. This is different. And it's terrifying because it could fail miserably. But up to this point, and I'm not, again, going back to last week, I'm not blaming one individual, but the investment of hundreds of millions of dollars into the quarterback position has been a failure so far, in my opinion, as well. This is a bigger risk, but the upside is significantly higher. One thing off topic, but since it's popping off right now, is Stephon Diggs gonna pull a time for a new beginning? Because he is being cryptic as hell right now on Twitter.
I hope so. That would be cool. He can come.
That would be really funny.
Huh.
Third string receiver.
Yeah, go ahead. Wide receiver 3. We'll get you out. We'll find snaps for you.
Bold prediction. You ready for an absolutely not like no backing? No reason to even assume this.
I think so.
If Stephon Diggs is traded, he's paired with Adam Thielen in Carolina.
I could see it. They
are going to build the best wide receiving core in 2016.
Yeah, that receiving core would be 9 years overdue. And that would be an old beginning too. So I like it.
Wow. It's so many things.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, Brev? Because it has been a crazy week. Who else did we sign? John Parker Romo. That man is just immediately got called out that me and him have the exact same face from the eyebrows down. I got the giant 5 head. He does not. He's a little more compact in the dome. What do you know about him other than the fact I've seen him hit 73-yard field goals on Twitter and he kicked in the UFL? Do you think this is the actual solution at the kicker position, or do you foresee some competition taken in the draft?
I don't think it's. I mean, I'm not going to pretend. I don't know who this guy is. His last name is Tony. So I don't think he's. If this is the solution at kicker, I'm not too sold on it. There's got to be competition because Greg Joseph's not under contract, right? Like he's a legit free agent.
I believe he's a free agent.
All right, thank God. There's got to be somebody else coming in, which there's some decent kickers in the draft that you could draft late. I don't know if you'd want to spend a draft pick on a kicker, but
who was the guy we signed last year? Podlesny? Am I pronouncing that correct? Jack Podlesny, I believe, is the Georgia kicker.
Yeah.
Heard good things about him.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
saying.
it could be the best kicker of all time. He's going to come here and suck. So, like, it really
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. I guess you could just might as well keep Greg Joseph. So, I don't know. It's a
What's
crazy.
Ryan Longwell up to right now?
Probably being old somewhere.
I mean, he's a kicker. They can't even get touched anymore. I mean, he's got to be worth something at this point.
That is true. But I don't know. Okay.
Well, you'll kick.
Yeah, I could probably kick like 20 yards.
I mean, hey, if we get Drake May, all we're going to need to worry about are PATs, baby.
Me
Smooth
kicking,
money.
only being able to kick 20 yards is probably just as good as Greg Joseph kicking over 50. So,
Hey, do not insult the one meaningful 61-yard field goal that man hit.
Yeah,
Literally as a Christmas miracle.
that was when I say miracle, that was a miracle. That might be more of a miracle in case.
I would maybe for 2022 season highlights put that at number 1 over the 4th and 18 catch, just knowing the situation and the man kicking the ball.
100%.
Well, with that, I am pretty sure that the craziness has yet to end. Final call, Brev. Do we trade up to the top 5 before draft night, or do you think we wait for the board?
I said on Vikes Now earlier that came out today. Watch it. That they were going to do it today. That obviously not serious. It's going to happen before the draft. You don't trade for pick number 23 in March and wait until the draft to do it. So maybe they're loading up ammo. I think they need to go ahead and just trade for 3 now. And it's all about positioning. It's not. You can, but you can't look at it as, oh, we're trading up here for May. We're trading up here for McCarthy. No, we're trading up to number 3 to be in front of the Giants, who can offer 6th overall on draft night.
The Broncos.
We're already in front of Denver, but Denver's the other main team we're competing with. And to stick up a middle finger to Sean Payton and have him have to sit there and sulk that we have the 3rd overall pick for a month and we're going to draft his quarterback would be Rockstar. So I think it's going to happen by the end of the month. Just because, like, trading for pick 23 in March,
they had to have known the asking price.
Yeah, they know what the next move is. It's going to happen.
Well, hopefully it happens like when I'm already awake. I was only like 20 minutes off the news this morning, but I genuinely was not even sure what was. That was the hardest tweet to comprehend. Yeah. Waking up at like 6:45, being like, is this good? Is this dumb? What is happening? And then putting 2 and 2 together was quite the way to start my morning.
You actually kind of broke the news to me because I woke up and grabbed my phone and your text was like the first thing I saw and was like, this episode's going to be a lot more interesting. And I was like, what does that mean? So then
what's going on?
23 and I was like, oh my God, he traded down again. But thank God, no, he didn't.
That's what I honestly, in all honesty, I thought that was what we did.
I would, I'd not be in this jolly mood if we did that.
Well, in the words of Kwesi, and we'll end on this, don't ask a trader if he wants to trade. With that, we'll see you guys next week, hopefully with a top 5 pick and not panic and fear that Bo Nix is going to be a Viking. We'll see you guys then.